Good morning. I would like to call the Committee on Rules to order. Clerk, please call the roll.
I don't know if I'm here.
You have quorum, Madam Chair.
Thank you. We will go ahead and get started. We have a few bills here. I will start with the ones that are identical to bills that we've heard, and that both these bills are passed in both chambers. We'll then go to the sign-up sheet. We'll start with House Bill 626, Delegate Rasul, that deals with public schools and starting a community builders pilot program. This is identical to Senate Bill 484 from Senator Aird. It passed both chambers.
I move to report.
Moved and seconded that House Bill 626 be reported. All those in favor, please vote aye. Those opposed, no.
Ayes 12, no 0.
Ayes 12, no 0. House Bill 626 passes. Next is House Bill 807 from Delegate Rasul, dealing with the membership of the Behavioral Health Commission. This is identical to Senate Bill 125 from Senator Vavola, which passed both chambers.
Move to report. Second.
Moved and seconded that House Bill 807 be reported. All those in favor, please vote aye. Those opposed, no.
Ayes 12, no 0.
Ayes 12, no 0. House Bill 807 passes. House Bill 1210 from Delegate Hayes deals with the assessment of legislature with the Health Insurance Reform Commission. It is identical to Senate Bill 132 from Senator Head.
Move to report.
Moved and seconded that House Bill 1210 pass. All those in favor, please vote aye.
Ayes 12, no 0.
Ayes 12, no 0. That bill passes. We will then go to our sign-up sheet. In this category, we do have bills, some that are similar, but we will start with Delegate Ward.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 1404 is a bill that codifies many of the provisions obtained in Executive Order 35, which was signed by the Governor Northam in 2019. It establishes a goal for 42% of state discretionary spending to be with small, women, and minority-owned businesses. The goal of this bill is to create opportunities in the state contracting for SWAM-certified businesses that does not totally rely on an executive order. We've been under this executive order for 5 years now, and it's important that we codify it. What it does, it creates a set-aside program for these businesses for contracts under $100,000. It requires the submission of SWAM subcontracting plans by executive branch agencies and covered institutions on contracts over $100,000, and it requires executive branch agencies to submit SWAM plans to small business and supplier diversity. It incorporates House Bill 716, mandating that the Department of Supplier Diversity to conduct a comprehensive business disparity study every 5 years, commencing no later than January the 1st, 2026. This bill and the chair of our appropriations were meshed together to get this bill. It's been reviewed by appropriations staff, and I have staff here with me if there are any differences in the bill that, and the substitute that you may want to discuss. But I do want to mention that as the gavel was coming down, I just got someone come to me to say that there was some issues. I don't know what they were, just as the gavel came down. I heard that. Thank you.
This bill was vetted in the House of Delegates. Anyone online to speak?
Jim Hopkins, please unmute, turn on your camera, and begin your testimony.
1 minute.
Jim Hopkins. Jim Hopkins.
There I am. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jim Hopkins. I'm the Senior Vice President of Airport Relations for Signature Aviation. We have 5 locations in the state of Virginia and 227 around the world. And today I just wanted to speak up as for the resolution concerning sustainable aviation fuel. Signature sells more sustainable aviation fuel.
Is this on House Bill 1404, dealing with small SWAM business procurement?
Forgive me, ma'am, no.
Okay, thank you. Okay, is there anyone here in opposition to House Bill 1404? You got 1 minute.
Good afternoon, Madam. Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the committee. I am Louis Morris, Director of the Department of Small Business and Supplier Diversity. Wanted to speak in opposition of the bill in conjunction with my colleagues from the Department of Transportation, Department of General Services, and the Virginia Information Technology Agencies. We are concerned that codifying the program as introduced in the bill is moving too quickly. We think relative to the disparity study that more analysis is needed regarding the pool of certified business vendors by commodity and service categories compared to the types of purchases being made. The disparities, the study deadlines are also concerning. The current bill includes a relatively short date for the next disparity study and then requires recurring studies every 5 years. 5 years may be insufficient time to get the results of the study, to take appropriate steps in the SWAM program, and then be able to measure the effect of those steps. Regarding the operative provisions, 42%, the 42% goal in the bill, we did not. We were still coalescing our ideas.
All right, thank you.
Madam.
Senator Lucas.
Yes, ma'am. Madam Chair, I just want to make mention of the fact that I've heard this bill year after year after year after year. But for those of you who are saying that this is moving too quickly, look in the face of somebody who's been here 32 years. Go back and look in the 1990s and look at Joint Resolution number 12. When I tried to do this same thing in almost 30 years ago. So when you talk about moving too quickly, you're not telling the truth if you're not looking at the history.
Well, I think we are.
Go back and look at Joint Resolution 12.
All right, next in line, I'm going to put up 3 minutes total for everybody.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Joshua Hesslinger from VITA, joining what the Small Business and Supplier Diversity Department said. What I would add is you can look at the JLARC report from 2020 or any other source, and it'll tell you that not every sector is the same with respect to small business. And so we have concerns about setting a 42% across the goal, across the board for everybody, for all agencies, for all sectors. We think that needs a little more work, a little more input from stakeholders, for example, in the Public Procurement Work Group. The same could be said for some of the remedies that are in the bill. It talks about barring contractors who don't live up to their plan from an award or renewal. It doesn't spell out enough how that would work, so we join in the opposition. Thank you.
Morning, Madam Chair. Mike Bisonia, Department of General Services. Again, joining SBSD and VITA in their opposition with the bill. Again, we feel like different categories may require some different percentages, and so more study, more time to develop.
Did you oppose
those.
in the House?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair, Joanne Maxwell from VDOT. I'm just going to reiterate what the other agencies have said, and just the main thing is we really think there needs to be another way to look at the goal, the 42%, and we would welcome the opportunity to do that.
Did you oppose in the House?
No, ma'am, we did not.
Thank you.
Julia Hammond with NFIB. There is a small business owner who is online that wants to speak. It's one of our members. We don't oppose efforts to try and drive more participation in SWAM programs at all. I think the concern is that this executive order started under Governor McAuliffe, followed under Northam, and then this governor has done nothing to increase certifications. There's not enough people in the system to be able to meet the needs. And then when you grow outside of it, you're in a no man's land because you're either purchasing off a big, big contract or just the small micro. And we'd like to, whether through this vehicle or some other, try and drive more participation, more certification, more opportunity for more of our small businesses in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Thank you, ma'am.
Did you oppose this in the House?
No, ma'am, I did not.
Thank you. I'll take the person online.
Hello, it's Melissa Ball. Thank you for allowing me to speak. I'm a small business owner and have been certified small business and 100% woman-owned for more than 2 decades by both the Commonwealth and WeBank. I currently serve on the Small Business Commission and years ago served on the Department of Business Assistance Advisory Board. I agree that the efforts are important, and former efforts have actually brought me to a seat at the table, particularly those initiatives by and orders by Governor Warner and a few others in the past. However, in this occasion, I'm opposed to 1404 for several reasons, primarily because of the micro initiative. That
You need to quickly wrap up your remarks, please. Thank you.
This designation removed my seat from the procurement table and placed me in the same category as multi-billion-dollar multinational corporations. It does not account for size, FTE equivalents, and it adversely affects many small women and minority-owned businesses who fall into categories placed in with much larger businesses because of the micro designation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that House Bill 1404 be reported. All those in favor, please vote aye. Those opposed, no.
You've got to finance, remember to just take care of it there.
Where's the folder?
She's not here. Pillion, you just taking up a seat? Oh, okay.
Ayes 8, noes 4.
Ayes are 8, no nays are 4. The bill reports. Thank you, Delegate Ward.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair, members of this committee.
Delegate Herring.
Good morning, Madam Chair. HB 1303 was introduced to just make it clear that there are that we should provide funding for our legislative assistants and correcting the word secretaries to administrative assistants, but there is a substitute, Madam Chair.
Okay, we need a motion on the substitute.
Move the substitute.
Moved and seconded that the substitute be adopted. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And what does the
So
substitute?
now the substitute just makes it clear that we are providing funding to pay our legislative assistants. So it's a very light bill now, Madam Chair. So I'm at the will of the committee, whether you even think this is necessary at this point.
Are there any questions to Delegate Herring regarding House Bill 1303?
Second.
Moved and seconded that House Bill 1303 be reported. All those in favor, please vote aye. Those opposed, no. Ayes 11, no 0. That bill reports.
Thank you, Madam
Delegate
Chair.
Herring. Delegate Simons. I'll come back to this stuff. Delegate Srinivasan.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman and members of the committee. The resolution before you, HJ 41, directs a joint commission on healthcare to study the causes of fentanyl crisis and its impact on overdose and the Commonwealth's healthcare system, to provide an insight into the magnitude of the crisis within the context of other drug crises in the recent history. The goal of this study is to not only to contextualize and provide policy solutions, but also to aid legislatures in being better prepared for future crises. This study would be part of JCHC's work for the 2025 calendar, not 24, 25 calendar. Thank you for your consideration, and I'm happy to answer any questions. It passed unanimously the House.
Madam Chairman.
Senator McDougal.
Madam Chairman, I think this is a good idea, and I'm glad we're looking at the fentanyl crisis. But while we're looking at it, there are still people that are dying, and I do wish that we would have taken the opportunity to make sure that people that were selling fentanyl were able to be prosecuted for homicide, and we could have done that while we're continuing to study other ways to stop it. So this is a step, but it is insignificant step compared to what we could have done. So I move to report.
There's a motion? It's moved and seconded that House Joint Resolution 41 be reported. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman and committee members.
Okay. We need to pause for a moment to reset the system.
Pose to that pose.
The Senate of Virginia, Richmond, Virginia. Senate Committee Room, C-311. This is the Senate of Virginia, Richmond, Virginia. Senate Committee Room, C-311. The Senate of Virginia, Richmond, Virginia. Senate Committee Room, C-311. This is the Senate of Virginia, Richmond, Virginia. Senate Committee Room, C-311.
Okay, we're back in business. Okay, we will go to, I lost my sign-up sheet. I'm not gonna do him last. I think I did her. Delegate Krizek. Lost him. Who's after Krizek? Lopez? Lopez, stop laughing, or we're gonna kill your bill.
Well, move to PBI.
Our house.
I believe your bill,
Whoa. Madam Chair, members of the committee, good
I believe yours
morning.
is nearly identical to Hackworth's SJ 15, dealing with veterinarians.
Yes, it's basically, this calls on the Board of Veterinary Medicine in consultation with the state veterinarian to develop a report identifying solutions to address the shortage of large animal veterinarians. It's fairly desperately needed right now in the Commonwealth because the shortage of large animal vets impacts livestock and the equine industries in fairly significant ways. Basically, the ag industry believes that this is critical to the viability of the livestock industry in Virginia. We believe by pulling together stakeholders that solutions can be developed to address this shortage.
And I believe that the differences are minor and technical between the two. So do we need to do anything? No, okay. Moved and seconded that SJ 43 be reported. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Sorry.
Thank you. You're not voting in here.
Sorry, ma'am. Sorry.
Okay.
I apologize.
We can change that. If we want. No. Okay,
you, everyone.
SJ 43 reports.
Madam Chair, having yelled on the prevailing side.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Delegate Watts. And I believe that your bill is similar to SB 393, Senator Pekarsky's, dealing with MEI.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Chairman. The bill before you, HB 212, again, looks for diversity as we make the MEI investments of over $10 million, and it adds to the number of factors that we consider, considering the factor of board diversity, as actually is required by NASDAQ and required much more internationally. But this just says, let's take a look at that diversity. Let's make sure that these corporations that we're about to make a major investment in do have a real contact with not only today's but future markets in the diversity of their boards, ethnically, racially, gender, et cetera. I hope it'll be the pleasure of the committee to pass the bill.
Are we going to conform these?
Madam Chair, I move substitute motion that we conform this bill to Senate Bill 393 from Senator Pekarsky. That's my substitute motion, to adopt substitute.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that House Bill 212 be conformed to Senate Bill 393. All in favor of that motion, please vote aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Now we need to report.
Now we can go back to the original motion report.
It's been moved and seconded that House Bill 212 be reported as a substitute. All those in favor, please vote aye. On the board, those opposed, no.
Ayes 8, noes 4.
Ayes 8, noes 4.
Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Thank you. Delegate Krizek.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning. I have two bills here. House Bill 200. Both of these do the same thing. They're just extensions on what are currently in the code. This is to extend the sunset date of the Commission on Updating Virginia Law to reflect federal recognition of Virginia tribes for an additional 2 years.
Okay. Any questions to the delegate on the HB 200? It's moved and seconded, HB 200 be reported. All those in favor, please vote aye. On the board. Those opposed, no.
Ayes 14, no 0.
Ayes 14, no 0. That bill reports.
Thank you,
And
Madam Chair.
second.
HJ 10 continues the joint subcommittee to study the feasibility of establishing the Virginia Gaming Commission for 2 additional years through November 30th, 2025.
Madam
Okay.
Chair,
This is nearly identical.
I move that we conform this to Senate Joint Resolution 12 from Senator Reeves, which I understand has passed both houses now.
But I think that there's an amendment striking languages on lines 53 and 54 of your bills, Delegate Krizek.
That's the conforming amendment.
Oh, that's the conforming amendment. Okay. All right. So it's been moved and seconded that HJ 10 be conformed to HJ 12. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Now move to report.
Second.
Moved and seconded that HJ 10 be reported. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you,
Thank you, Madam
Delegate.
Chair. Thank you, Committee.
Delegate Anthony.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. I have HJ 76, which is similar to SB 338 that passed out of the Senate. It's basically directing JLARC to conduct a 2-year study of gun violence's social, physical, emotional, and economic effects on the communities across the Commonwealth, and I hope that is the will of the committee to pass this resolution.
Madam Chair, the only question I have is for staff. How close is this to Senate Bill 338?
Mr. Chairman, there are some different whereases, but the essence of what they're looking at, of what they're studying, is the same.
Well, then I would move to conform this to the Senate Bill 338 from Senator Salim. This is a resolution, okay. I'll withdraw that motion, okay.
Thank you. Just by way of background, Madam Chair, Senator Salim's bill was put in as a bill to conduct the study, and I think when it went to the House, it went back to a resolution. So the only difference is that Senator Salim's is a bill, Section 1 bill calling for a study, and Delegate Anthony's bill is a resolution. So I think that it's fine that it doesn't have to be conformed.
Well, then I recommend it to be reported.
Second. It's been moved and seconded that House Resolution 76 be reported. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Thank you.
Okay, Delegate Fagan.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the committee. I have HB 374, Minority Business Commission. This provides minority business owners and advocates with a forum to address their concerns and assess current programs in the Commonwealth aimed at assisting minority-owned businesses and examine ways to enhance their effectiveness. Currently, the commission is scheduled to sunset in June of this year. This bill extends the sunset date to June of 2028.
Thank you, Delegate. The commission already exists. You're just extending the sunset date.
That is correct.
Okay.
Move to report.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that House Bill 374 be reported. All those in favor, please vote aye. Those opposed, no.
Oh, here come my son.
Ayes 15. 15, no, 0.
Ayes 15, no, 0. That bill reports.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and members of the committee.
Delegate Price?
Good morning, Senators, Madam Chair. House Bill 607 would be to establish the Commission on Hunger. We have been noticing in our area and around the Commonwealth that hunger has many faces, from our smallest residents who are finding it hard to consistently get good meals when we don't have universal free meals just yet, all the way to our elder citizens who great programs like not March on Wheels, Meals on Wheels, and all of that. But the amount of people in our Commonwealth that are experiencing hunger and at the rate that they are experiencing it has astronomically raised since the pandemic. And so this commission would be to study that across the Commonwealth, all ages. Why are people hungry? What can we do to help? With a broad range of folks to talk about it. There's been great interest from grocery stores who are working on this, and food banks, to policy folks, to health folks and doctors, and would love to get them around the same table.
Thank you, Delegate. Senator Marston.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Question for the patron?
Yeah.
The First Lady, Dorothy McAuliffe, was very, very active in this area. Is there anything that she worked on, created, did that is still in operation, or has all of that kind of faded away and we need to kind of reboot?
Yeah, so there are a couple of things that wonderful, I guess, vestiges of that administration, and there were recommendations. But from what we've seen, the conversations have become more siloed. And so the food banks are talking to the food banks, and the doctors are talking to the doctors, but we haven't seen a table with everyone at the table talking about it comprehensively. I have it on good accord from Congressman Scott that the last time that he remembers seeing something like this was before I was born. And so we're hoping to get that done again so we can keep the conversation going.
Thank you.
Any further questions or comments? It's been moved and seconded that House Bill 607 be reported. All those in favor, please vote aye. Those opposed, no.
Thank you, Senators.
Thank you. Delegates, oh, I'm sorry. Ayes 15, no, 0. That bill reports. Delegate Sullivan.
Thank you. Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. I have HJ 30, which after the substitute that I hope to offer will be identical to Senator Surville's SJ 47. It directs the SCC and the Department of Energy to study a broad range of performance-based regulatory tools for Virginia's investor-owned utilities. It requires the SCC and Energy to get broad stakeholder input and to conduct a review of the financial incentives created by current regulations and assess regulatory alternatives that align those incentives with the public interest, and to deliver its report by October of 2025.
Okay.
There is, as I said, a substitute.
Okay. And, okay. It's been moved and seconded that a substitute be adopted. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. Another motion to report.
Move that it. Go ahead.
Okay, I move that HJ 30 in the nation for substitute be reported. Second.
It's been moved and seconded that HJ 30 as a substitute be reported. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Thank you, Madam Chair,
Thank
members
you.
of the committee.
Delegate Simons.
Good morning, Senators. I am really excited about this. JLARC, as we all know, came out with a groundbreaking study really highlighting the problems with our funding formula in Virginia. HJ 67 creates a new joint subcommittee in the General Assembly for fair funding reform. I did submit a substitute, and I wondered if you all had received that. Does the clerk have a substitute that I emailed? Okay. What we tried to do with the substitute was take the budget language that was in the Senate budget and incorporate it into the House version because we really liked part of the Senate version. So we're trying to thread the needle here with all of our stakeholders. And Madam Chair, whenever you're ready, I can continue to explain it.
Madam Chair, we've already set up a study between finance, Senate Finance and Appropriations and House Appropriations. I move we report this bill and refer it to Finance and Appropriations. We adopt a substitute. I move we adopt a substitute.
Second on the substitute.
Moved and seconded that the substitute be adopted. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Now move to report and refer to Finance.
It's been moved and seconded that House Joint Resolution 67 be reported. All those in favor, please say aye. And re-referred to Finance. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Thank you, Delegate.
Okay. Thank you all.
Okay. You're the last man standing. Senator DeStefano.
Morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. We have Senate Joint Resolution 127. And what it does is it starts the Commonwealth on a path toward positioning Virginia as a leader amongst its peers in looking at the economic development opportunities related to sustainable aviation fuel. The resolution asks the Secretary of Transportation, Department of Aviation, Secretary of Natural Resources, Department of Energy, Virginia Economic Development Partnership to look at ways in which Virginia can support the economic development and use of sustainable aviation fuels. Other states, such as Georgia and Kentucky, are looking at opportunities to simulate sustainable aviation fuel production. This resolution will help Virginia start toward a similar path, supporting job creation and economic development in the agriculture and forestry industries, and potentially increasing the use of Virginia-made sustainable aviation fuel at the state's 2 airline hubs. And I believe we have speakers on the bill, Madam Chair.
Okay, you may come and speak. If you get long-winded, I'm going to time you.
Okay. Madam Chair, members of the committee, Michelle Satterlin on behalf of American Airlines. We are proud to represent the 15 million passengers who arrive and depart from Virginia's 8 airports, with the bulk of those coming out of Ronald Reagan National Airport. We're very much in support of this bill. Sustainable aviation fuel is part of the Biden administration's cornerstone towards cleaning the air in the aviation sector. This starts us down that path. It's a very small movement, but starts us down to the conversation and ensures that other states don't beat us to the punch. We know that Kentucky and Georgia are working on this right now, and we'd like to start the conversation as well.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, my name is Craig Whittam. I'm the Vice President of the Virginia Aviation Business Association. We also strongly support the resolution. Virginia is ideally positioned to lead on sustainable aviation fuel. We're centrally located on the East Coast, and we have a large range of feedstocks that can go into making this fuel. So this is a first step in determining where Virginia is in the market and what Virginia might need to do to be a national leader in this market. So we hope it's your pleasure to support the resolution.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. I'm Joe Euler, resident of Stafford County and representing the Boeing Company here in support of Senate Joint Resolution 127. Boeing and the aviation industry are committed to reducing carbon emissions. Sustainable aviation fuel, or SAF, is the most efficient and effective way for that to happen, as it is a certified drop-in replacement for traditional commercial fuel. Boeing has been a pioneer in making SAF a reality and believes aviation should be a priority user of sustainable fuel. And SAF brings with it more than just the opportunity to decarbonize. Its development and production delivers economic growth and creates jobs across multiple industries, benefiting industries like agriculture and forestry, using excess wood, agricultural and forestry residues as feedstocks by allowing for feedstock innovation and the addition of oiled seed cover crops, or the use of other waste materials that would otherwise end up in landfills. For these reasons and more, we support this resolution and respectfully request an aye vote.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Chrissy Noonan with Reed Smith on behalf of United Airlines, and we support the bill.
Thank you. And I believe we have someone online.
Jim Hopkins, please unmute.
There we are. Yes, Madam Chair, good morning. My name is Jim Hopkins. I'm Senior Vice President of Signature Aviation. We have 5 locations in the state of Virginia, and our company is proud to sell more sustainable aviation fuel than any other. We've sold over 30 million gallons to date. The state of Virginia is centrally located and in the has a perfect opportunity to set an example for the East Coast as far as sustainable aviation fuel sales. It's centrally located and its agricultural industries produce sustainable biomass necessary for sustainable aviation fuel. We hope that you would support this resolution and help Virginia in any way possible to support our industry. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Hashmi.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a question for the patron.
Madam Chair, happy to answer.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I've tried to do some research on this fuel. It sounds interesting, certainly sounds like it might be a good option as we pursue reducing carbon emissions. One of my concerns is I believe last year, or was it in 2022, I believe it was Senator Lewis had established a work group to study woody biomass, and that work group is still in the process of completing its study. And is there any reason that we should move forward this year with this bill and not wait for that study on biomass to be completed so that we have a better sense of the data and more information as we move forward?
Madam Chair, Senator Hashmi, that report, I believe, is supposed to be out the end of this year. I believe that was last year or the year before's bill. And what this does is gives us an opportunity to kind of be, I would say, not first to the market, but early to the market. I feel if we keep waiting that we're going to lose out on the opportunity. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, just a follow-up.
Senator Hashmi.
My recommendation would be that we wait until the study is completed so that we can make more fact-based determinations before we move forward on this.
Thank you, Senator Hashmi. Senator Peake.
Madam Chair, question for the patron.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Senator, what exactly is sustainable jet fuel? I heard them talking about biomass and agricultural products. Do they then, and then the gentleman talked about gallons. Are they taking it and converting it into liquid gas, or what? What is it?
So, Madam Chair, if I may, Senator Peake, so what sustainable biomass feedstocks, it takes things such as corn, oilseed, sugarcane, agricultural residues, used cooking oil, forestry residuals, and other sustainable fuel sources. So other things like manure, things of that are sustainable and reusable, and it adds it to the fuel, similar to like what we do with other types of additives when it comes to renewable fuels. Yes, Madam Chair, yes, as I understand it.
Does that complete your question, Senator Peake? Yes, Madam Chair. Senator Marsden.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Back, I think, in 2021, we had done some work on advanced manufacturing to deal with some plastic recycling. You know, those kind of styrofoam cups that you run into at church gatherings and in fast food places and public schools and what have you, to be able to take that. And one of the options was to be able to convert that into aviation fuel. And of course, the only thing I've heard mentioned here is woody biomass, which I know, you know, recently I think I've kind of changed my mind about whether getting woody biomass off forest floors and out of forestry products facilities and using it to create electricity was actually a good deal. I had thought that if you just left that stuff where it was, it would turn into methane, and I'm sure it does to some extent, but that it wasn't really a great trade-off. And so I'm just wondering, is there any consideration here for using recycled materials or anything else to make this? Because all I've heard about is woody biomass.
Madam Chair, if I may. Madam Chair, Senator Morrison. So in line 20 of the bill, where we talk about biomass feedstocks such as corn, oil seeds, sugar cane, agricultural residuals, used cooking oil, forest residuals. So in the forest residuals, that's your twigs, your leaves, and all the limbs and stuff that fall down. And then other sustainable fuel sources. So something like your suggestion, Senator Morrison, is styrofoam, the cups, the styrofoam containers, things like that. That would come under the other sustainable fuel sources.
Senator Boysko, followed by Senator Deeds.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So we're talking about sustainable biomass. What is who's making these determinations about what is
Madam Chair,
sustainable?
Senator Boysko, this is where I'll have to phone a friend. So there's some people who are a lot smarter at this than I am.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, Michelle Satterland again for American Airlines. I think your question, Madam Chair, to the Senator's question, I think that's part of the work group's task is identifying what would be exactly defined as sustainable in Virginia. Does that work for Virginia's marketplace? And how do we produce that and bring it to market? That would be a great question, and we're open to considering that as well. Thank you.
Honestly, my question was really related to what Senator Boysko and Senator Peake asked. I mean, the term sustainable aviation fuel, sustainable biomass feedstocks appears at least 9 times in the bill. And I just wondered whether there was any definition of that contained in the work group we created last year to study sustainable biomass, or whether in the code, whether there's any definition, or are we striking out to figure it out?
Madam Chair, Senator Deeds, it's my understanding that the work group is still working on defining things like forest residuals, the sustainable biomass feedstocks. I believe that they're still working on all that. And I had asked our counsel earlier if sustainable fuels is in the code anywhere. I didn't close the loop with him, so.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Senator D-Steph, we did a code search and could not find that definition in the code.
Great. So I believe, Madam Chair, Senator Deeds, that this is what the work group is still defining some of these. And what this does is it says that we're looking at things that can be made from sustainable biomass type efforts. So that's still being defined. I think that'll always be defined. I think just like PFAS, we're looking for a way to get PFAS to the lowest common denominator, whether that's burning or hyperfreezing. Those are things that kind of we're still trying to figure out. But what this does is provides an opportunity for us to start the conversation, move that conversation forward in Virginia, and try to come up with solutions and try to figure out the best way to work it. And we're going to follow along with Georgia, Kentucky, and the other states that are doing the same thing.
Any additional questions or comments regarding SJ 127? Need a motion on SJ 127? Senator Marston. I need a motion. I mean, is there opposition to SJ 127? Everybody's jumping up all at one time. Okay. All right. A motion on SJ 127.
Second.
What was the motion?
There was a motion to pass.
Okay. The motion is to report SJ 127. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
No.
All right. Looks like you have a divided house here, Senator DeSteph. So
I
with
know we
that,
have Senator Rouse in the House, Madam Chair. And
we'll do a recorded vote. All those in favor, please vote aye. Those opposed, no. I don't care.
Wait a minute. Aye, 6, no, 7.
Senator Lucas didn't
I
vote,
got my finger right on
but
the
it'll
button.
it'll still.
Look, it's right there. You see? Marston, look at where my finger is.
Your finger is on yay.
Strike the board. Once more, all those in favor, please vote aye. Those opposed, no.
Madam Chair, members of the committee,
Ayes
thank you very
8,
much.
no 7.
I'd be running out of here if I were you.
I'm on the way.
Okay, I believe that clears our docket, so committee will rise.